Okay guys, this video, so this topic is about your software updates and your strategy updates within Binary Editor, how you get the software updated, how you obtain updates to the strategy files, or maybe it's the first time you're downloading them and it's just something you need to do. So here's what you want to do. As soon as you've gotten this far, you've got Binary Editor installed on the computer, you've got your licensing hooked up, you've got it activated, you're up and running. Now, here's the next thing that you would want to do. So what you would do next is you'd go up to the settings button and you click updates. And what it's going to do when you do that, this little pop-up screen comes up and now you have three primary options at the bottom. This first option, check for binary editor updates, is looking for updates to the actual software. So, the developers are constantly in here changing stuff and making improvements and bug fixes and things like that. So it seems like every few weeks or so there's another update out here. And you'll also sometimes see in the software, before you even get to the screen, up at the top there's a little bar that pops up that'll say, hey, it looks like there's some fresh updates, do you want to grab them now? You click on the bar and it'll go ahead and do that, and then you can open the software again. But when it's your first time and you're just installing it, just to make sure you had the latest and greatest installers, you always want to run these binary editor updates right away. And if you run that, it goes through the little progress bar at the bottom, but it's still just an empty gray screen here. That's how you know there's no updates. Now, the next thing that you'll want to do is check for free strategy updates. So when you're going to work with this software and tune your car, you have to be working around a specific strategy, and that strategy is kind of what's locked to your both your physical computer that's in the car, the ECM, plus just the overall operating environment, the sensors and the things that correspond to that ECM. That's ultimately what the strategy has to be able to work with. So when you're deciding what strategy you're going to use, really in my mind, there's three categories of strategies. There's the ones that are included for free with this software just by purchasing a license of it. There are some third-party paid strategies by people like Derek Fenwick, who also goes as Sailor Bob, been around a long time, and and there's some others out there as well, where they kind of sell onesie, twosie strategies. If you need just this one strategy, okay, here's a copy of it, and, they'll sell it to you and go that route. And then the third option is the core tuning database. And so the core tuning database is kind of a special circumstance. If you have access to the entire database, that's what this button here is. And so actually when I click on this, there's a pretty shocking number of strategies and calibrations out there. But basically, by having access to the database, I can download and work with any of these that I choose to. Now, I don't want to just download all these on my computer necessarily, because there's a lot of them, and many of these I'll personally never use, because I try to specialize in only a few cars, obviously. But your strategy is out here somewhere. There's also filtering where you can type in the name here and hit enter if you know exactly what you're looking for, because again, there's thousands of entries in here, guys, so you'll probably want to do something like that. But that's how you get the stuff. This is specifically for the core tuning strategies. You have to have licensing for the core tuning database. That is sold exclusively through core tuning. That only is even a possibility if you have a USB dongle-based license for binary editor. So, if you need to go down that whole path, you need to talk to core tuning directly. You can't, currently get it anywhere else that I'm aware of if you want to do the core tuning stuff. Now, the free strategies, and this is what, honestly, probably most of the guys out there that are buying this stuff to tune their own car and just doing like a Fox body, the free strategies are very good, and that's really what I see pretty much everybody use. So check for free strategies. First time you do this, you're definitely going to see a big list, but it's nothing like the core tuning strategy list. That's a massive, massive list. But the free strategies, it's there's a dozen or so things in there. So my recommendation would be just to go ahead and select all of those, then hit the download button here on the right. And then once that's done, check again, make sure that it shows up empty the second time like this. It should. You're good to go. Then just close and reopen Binary Editor. And the reason that I'm telling you to do this is because in most of my videos, a lot of times I start by saying, hey, go out here and, open up the strategy that you're using, and browse out to the main location where you'd expect those. Well, you get here to this dev folder, this stuff's empty when you first install Binary, because these are all of those free strategy files that we just had to download. So if you go out to your program installation directory, which again by default would be C Binary Editor, and then go to the dev folder, If this is empty, that's why. You need to go run those updates, and then they should all show up here, at least the ones that you chose to download. And then once you go into that corresponding one, you should see the Excel-based strategy files, and then you can go and open those and work with them. Now, if you have gone down the route of the core tuning database, the core tuning strategies, then you want to do something a little different. So rather than going up here and opening a strategy and then loading a calibration, you actually are going to go over here and you're going to check this box that says Use Database. Once you do that, you notice I don't even have an open strategy button anymore. That's grayed out, and I only have an open calibration. So in that case, I would hit open calibration, and then I would type in, the name of the strategy or, the individual calibration that I'm looking for. It'll go find that for me, and then I can go work with that. Now, my license isn't plugged in right now, but anyways, that would be how you get into those things. So that's kind of the basics of licensing and getting these updates done for the first time. So hope that helps, guys. Good luck. Godspeed.